Hey everybody, Sol here. I have only one rule here. If it's animated, I'll comment on it. You know what's one thing people don't like to think about? The future. More so, what kind of impact our generation is going to leave on the future generations of this world. And while I think my generation in particular is poised to take over the world with our ability to create cogent arguments, our burgeoning respect for people with cultural and sexual differences, and self-warming hot dogs, it does make you wonder what kind of impact our generation is going to leave for the youngins of the future. And that brings me to this movie 9, where all of humanity is killed and the world has been destroyed. Geez, I have a bleak view of the future, don't I? Okay, so it's time for another look into Sol's history book here, and this time I was actually smart enough to bookmark the damn page I was looking for, so I don't have to flip through that shit. Alright. So, 9 was originally a short film of the same name made by Shane Aker back in 2005, and took 4 years to make. Tim Burton, you know, this guy, he saw interest in the short movie and decided to produce a full-length feature film of the same concept, with Shane Aker serving as the director. The film was distributed by Focus Features, and it was released in theaters on September 9th, 2009. Yeah, you get it? 999? Alright, so let's grab our gas masks as we prepare to take a good look into 9. Prepare to duck and cover, people! So, the plot of 9 is sort of, well, I wouldn't call it bad exactly, I just don't really get it. Basically, from what I understand, humanity has been wiped out and the world has been left in ruin. Neat! The machines took over the world, turning it into a vast, lifeless wasteland, and the only living things left on the planet are a group of 9 doll-like creatures apparently called Stitchpunks, even though the movie never says that. The dolls are split between priorities. Some seek freedom, some seek knowledge, while some seek safety. However, the last of the dolls, 9, comes into the world and shakes things up when he accidentally reactivates the machine responsible for the destruction of the world. Personally, I feel as though this particular plot leaves a lot to be desired, especially considering the world it takes place in. This movie unfortunately suffers from what I like to call plot diarrhea, because the plot is just spewing forth at an unstoppable pace that ultimately ends up making a mess. It's weird how vast a world the movie sets up for itself, only to have all the characters arrive wherever they're going with one jump cut. It makes you just feel like half the adventure is missing. Now, for the characters, even though there are 9 of them, I seriously have very little to say about any of them. 9, the main doll, sack thing, is a brave and tenacious little guy who spurs the other sack things into action. However, his curiosity leads to everything getting fucked up in the end really badly. I can't really hate 9 for the way he is, hell, I've even written characters like him, but I just find it strange that he only takes literally 30 seconds to acclimate with the world around him. It's odd that he has a full vocabulary of English at his disposal only 5 minutes after he's born. But in terms of his actual character, there's nothing in particular I don't like about him. But then again, there's not much I really like about him either. The other sack creatures numbered 1 through 8 are, again, not super interesting. They all have distinct personalities and everything, but I feel like they themselves deserve their own movie. Watching these characters live through the war with the machines would have been an awesome thing to see, and would lend some more life to these characters, rather than just having them going through the motions of their personalities. There's just not enough time to dedicate focus to every single one of these characters. They're all just being dragged along for the ride, for the most part, and could have been so much more. So, how are the good things in this movie? Well, basically the thing that stands out the most above everything else is the environment. Post-apocalyptic scenarios aren't really something you see in a big-budget CG animated movie, WALL-E notwithstanding. But unlike WALL-E, which takes a bit more of a lighthearted approach to the whole world coming to an end thing, this movie is completely unapologetic. Shit has gone down in this world. You see death, you see destruction, you see the aftermath of a horrible conflict that ended in the worst possible way for all of humanity. The world that this movie creates is an oppressive and bleak one, and it's probably one of the more memorable animated worlds out there. Yes, it's dark, it's metallic, brutal, and not full of sparkly and shiny things, but hey, it works out so well for every AAA first-person shooter out there. There is absolutely no sugar that coats this world, and it's something to be admired. The scope and scale of every set piece and prop is, while not exactly awe-inspiring, it is, without a doubt, impressive, and sort of reminds me of an extremely dark reboot of A Bug's Life. Or like Fallout 3 had a love child with Little Big Planet. But now I'm just rambling. Also, I will say that the action sequences are quite exciting and a lot of fun to watch. Are they the best ever? No, not at all, but they deliver exactly what they need to. Tension, excitement, thrills, and chills, and each one is memorable and draws you in quite well. Also, this movie is fucking creepy. I mean, seriously, do not allow sensitive children to view this movie because it will give them nightmares. Not just the oppressive and dismal atmosphere, but because of stuff like this, and this, and this. Don't say I didn't warn you. Well, I hate to say it, but this movie is far from perfect. Like I said before, the worst thing about this movie is the plot and the pacing. Simply put, this plot makes no fucking sense. I mean, it would make sense if only more time was put into setting up a world that supported such a belief-straining plot. There's science, but there's magic too? Souls can power machines? Sackmen can rebuild an entire planet? The scientists made a female Sackman even though they don't produce? What? Oh, and don't get me started on the pacing either. Literally 5 minutes into the movie and the core conflict has already been broached and stepped all over. Now, weird pacing has always been a bugaboo in my closet, and it makes me so upset that this movie has this problem. Because I honestly feel like it should have been much more a priority, since the characters aren't that interesting and the plot is hard to follow at the best of times. In addition, a lot of the dialogue is really stale and comes across as being uttered mostly due to muscle memory than actual emotion or situational feedback. Again, it disappoints me because the opportunity to create some great characters with smart, intriguing exchanges is such a low-hanging fruit in a world like the one this movie creates, but unfortunately, it is a fruit not plucked. 9 is a movie I want to love so badly. You have no idea how much it hurts me that I can see the flaws in this movie clear as day. When I was younger, I fucking loved this movie, but even then I still felt unsatisfied. This movie could have told a better story if it had just kept the world empty and let the world itself tell the tale of decimation and despair, similar to the video game Flower. I guess the best way to describe 9 is, it's a movie with so much potential, yet it took it in nearly all the wrong ways. Like the machine in the movie itself, this movie's glaring shortcomings are its own Armageddon. I give 9 eyes out of 5. That's right, 2.5 eyes out of 5. Which means is that it's got some good things about it, and one thing in particular is really good, but it's just, with such a flawed plot and such fractured pacing and such dull characters, it just can't salvage anything higher than that. So, 9. Is it watchable? Well, if you mean just to look at the environments and the world that's created in it and just enjoy all that stuff, then yeah, I suppose it is. Is it enjoyable? I want to say yes. You have no idea how badly I want to say yes, but there's just too many flaws. So, I guess maybe if we were in the right mood? Is it memorable? Well, sort of. I mean, the movie has gained a cult following since it released, even though the reception behind it was pretty mixed. But I'd have to say, in general, not really. It was more of a momentary blip on the edge of human consciousness, and just, you know, it's so sad to say, but there's nothing more to say. Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching my review of 9. I hope you liked it. If you want to see more of my stuff, you can click the links playing in the video right now, or you can subscribe to my channel because I would really appreciate it, and it's a good confidence booster as always, so if you'd like to do that, I really would appreciate it. Plus, if you'd like to check out my various social media platforms, you can follow the links in the description to see my Twitch channel, Twitter page, and my Facebook fan page. I'm trying to post more stuff to them now because, well, I mean, I'd like to, but like, I don't really have too many random thoughts, so we'll see, but I do try to post them at least once a day. Also, I'd just like to let you know that coming next week, there's going to be a big event coming on my channel. It's going to be a month-long event, so you don't want to miss it. I'm not going to reveal any more here, but seriously, you're not going to want to miss it. It's going to be a lot of fun. As always, if you have an idea for an animated series or movie you want me to comment on, You can leave me a message in the YouTube comments on any of my social media platforms, or you can... Well, I'm determined to do a funny thing this time. You can, I don't know, put together a puzzle that tells me what you want. You can chuck a rock at the back of my head to get my attention, or you can just send me a letter or something like that. I don't know, that's not very funny, but basically you can tell me in any way you want, and I will consider every suggestion that I get. Alright? Thanks again for watching, everybody, and I will see you next time.